Gylt is a stealth survival horror game developed and published by Tequila Works. They are best known for being developers for an adventure puzzle game called Rhyme that released in 2017. Gylt is about a young girl named Sally who has been searching for her cousin Emily that has been missing for weeks. She has been searching for Emily so much that the kids at school starts to bully her and even chase her around town. One day they chased her so far that she ended up at a Skyrail station. Still searching for Emily, Sally decides to take one of the carts over, but she ends up in a different dimension, kinda like Silent Hill or the Upside Down from Stranger Things. The town that she ends up in is a duplicate of the town that she's from, but everything seems different. And she was right, everything is different. Not only is the town in ruins, but there are creatures lurking around every corner. Speaking of creatures, there are 4 different enemy types. The 4th enemy type I will not be shown in this video because I want y'all to be surprised like how I was when I first saw him. But honestly, if the game had that enemy way more throughout the game, I think the game will be way better than what it is. Now, let's get on to a bit of the gameplay. Like I said earlier, Gylt is a stealth survival horror game. And if you are used to this genre, I have to be honest here. Gylt doesn't do anything innovative. We have seen everything here before, but that doesn't necessarily make the game bad. Let's talk about combat. At the beginning of the game, Sally obtains a flashlight. There's something about me reviewing games where the main protagonist's weapon is a flashlight. Go ahead and watch my first ever review for Eyes in the Dark. The link should be in the bio. So Sally finds a flashlight, and a bit further in the game, you can upgrade the flashlight. With that upgrade, now the flashlight takes batteries and you can attack the enemies. You can either stealth kill or you can run at enemies head on and shoot them with a light beam. She has a melee that pushes enemies off of her, but I barely used it. There is also another upgrade for the flashlight. It's like a big flashbang grenade, but I barely use that also. I probably only use that like once through my whole playthrough. And the game clocked in at about 6 hours for me. I was never really in a position where I needed to use it. Yeah, I was mostly stealth killing or shooting the enemies head on. So how the stealth kill works is that you can sneak up behind enemies and you're prompted with a button to perform a stealth kill. The stealth kill takes like 1/3 of your battery though. But to be a survival horror game, this game is very generous when it comes to resources like health and batteries. I found myself being full on everything a lot. There were times that I used resources just so I can pick more up because I was full on them all the time. And that is a big gripe that I got about the game. If it's going to be called a survival horror game, it shouldn't be that easy to get resources. But this game seems like it could be for a younger demographic, so I guess I can kind of understand it. Bullying is a real big topic in the game, so I would assume that the game is more for kids. Not saying that adults can't get bullied, the presentation just seems like it's more for the younger generation. And that's not a problem, I just wanted to point that out. Other than the basic throwing cans for distraction and puzzles, there is one more piece of equipment that you can get. And that piece of equipment is the fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher can be used for puzzles and combat, just like the flashlight. But the only difference is you cannot kill with the fire extinguisher, you can only freeze the enemy. It also has the abilities to, of course, get rid of fires, but also you can use the fire extinguisher on electric floors and will freeze the floor, or you can freeze the pipes in some areas so you can walk past. Let's talk about the puzzles in the game for a bit. Like I said earlier, you can use your fire extinguisher or your flashlight to do puzzles or even open them up so you can get to them. The puzzles just aren't challenging at all. Like I said, if you love this genre, there's really nothing that they show here that we haven't seen before. I was never stuck for more than 4 minutes on a puzzle, maybe even less than that, but I guess kudos to them for trying. There are a few boss fights in the game. They were okay for the most part, although I do believe that they could have been better. The story is just okay also. It kind of falls flat towards the middle and the end of the game. Majority of the time you're on a wild goose chase trying to find Emily. There's just too much of that. The voice acting is pretty good, and to me, that's what carried the story by a lot.
Is that Emily? All over the place. Please don't see me. Please don't see me. Please don't see me. Emily! I found you. Are you okay? Oh, you're not hurt, are you? Leave me. Why are you saying this?
And also the soundtrack, oh my god, it almost sounded like movie production. Listen to this right here. If there is something that I love a good game soundtrack, so they get an A for me on that. Oh, and the game has a lot of collectibles also. They're in the form of these diaries that were left behind by the dead townsfolk that got infected. Diaries are said to have their thoughts that they are thinking at the time, but they are turned into stone, and you have to use something called a blood quartz to set their souls free. The collectibles is what's going to give the game its replayability, because after you finish the game you can go back and collect what you missed, and the collectibles are also what will give you the true ending for the game. The diary helps with narration for the story. They help a little more to understand what's going on in the town. They give a bit of insight here and there about how people made it there and what was going on right before they got infected or turned into stone. The other collectibles will come as pieces of a Skyrail ticket. You usually get those after you save someone's soul with a blood quartz. And there are also paintings that you can find around the area. Also, some of the diaries belong to Emily as well. By the way, I do enjoy the comic book like cutscenes. I forgot to mention that. So for the price tag of $20, is this game worth it? Yes and no. Either that or wait for the game to go on sale. I don't think I would have paid more than $20 for this game. This game is just okay at best. So if you're looking for an okay experience, by all means, get the game. It's like, I don't think the game is a must buy, but I also don't think the game is bad. With that being said, I hope this review helped you. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if it didn't, well, you can still like, comment, and subscribe also. Thank you. Well, it's been real. I'm Larks, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Thank you for watching.
What a thrill. Darkness and sun.